Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're going to be looking at the AI revolution,
Okay.
specifically how it's playing out for Microsoft.
Right.
They're one of the companies kind of at the forefront of all this.
For sure, for sure.
And what's interesting is they're actually pretty open about the challenges they're facing.
Yeah.
We've got research reports and their own earning calls, transcripts to dig into.
That's right.
It's like a peek behind the curtain.
It is. It
As
is.
a tech giant.
It really is fascinating to see how they're navigating all this.
Yeah.
We have a unique opportunity here
Right.
to see the realities of building and scaling AI.
Yeah, you'd
Straight from their perspective.
with all their resources, it'd be smooth sailing.
Yeah, you would think.
So let's start with this research from the Motley Fool.
Okay.
They analyzed how the big tech companies, the Magnificent Seven,
Right.
talk about the risks associated with AI.
And what's striking is how much Microsoft emphasizes those risks.
Really?
About 10% of their AI-related discussions
Wow.
are dedicated to analyzing potential downsides,
Okay.
compared to, say, Amazon at 4%.
Okay.
Or Apple at just 3%.
Huh.
It seems like Microsoft is really trying to be proactive,
Yeah.
not just chasing the hype.
That did make you wonder why it's such a big difference.
It does.
Okay, so let's dive into the specific risks that Microsoft is highlighting.
Okay.
What's their biggest concern?
Well, their first hurdle is the sheer scale of that they're trying to build.
Okay.
We're talking about the physical infrastructure needed for AI.
Mm-hmm.
Massive data centers to handle all this processing power
Right.
and all the energy required to run them.
Yeah.
Satya Nadella, Microsoft's CEO,
Yeah.
even admitted in one of their calls,
What does he say?
data centers don't get built overnight.
Right.
There is DCs, there is power,
That's a good point.
you know.
Yeah, it's not like flipping a switch and
No.
suddenly you have AI capabilities everywhere.
Exactly.
This stuff is complicated, takes time to build.
Yeah.
So even for a company like Microsoft,
Right.
scaling up to meet that demand is a serious challenge.
Exactly. And this leads right into their second big risk,
Okay.
keeping pace with that surging demand for AI.
Okay.
It's been a recurring theme in their earnings calls.
Yeah.
We have statements from their CFO, Amy Hood,
Okay.
from April, July, and October of 2024.
Wow.
And even January of this year.
So every single time.
Every time, it's the same message.
What's the message?
Demand for AI on their Azure platform is outstripping their ability to deliver.
So even with all their investments and planning,
Yeah.
they're still struggling to keep up.
They are.
I guess that really highlights how fast this whole field is moving.
It does.
It's like trying to catch a runaway train.
Yeah.
But there's more to it than just keeping the lights on, right?
Right.
What about competition?
Right. And this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
There's this company called DeepSeek,
Okay.
a Chinese AI engine,
Okay.
that's been raising eyebrows.
How so?
They're achieving results comparable to those big players,
Really?
but with a fraction of the resources.
Now that's a story. How are they doing that?
It seems they've taken a different approach to development,
Okay.
and it's working.
That's got to have Microsoft sweating a little, right?
So, Microsoft definitely took notice.
Ooh, yeah.
DeepSeek was a hot topic in their Q2 2025 earnings call.
Oh, okay.
Nadella even compared the current AI market to the evolution of the computing industry.
Interesting.
Constant innovation,
Okay.
cost reduction,
Mm-hmm.
and the need to adapt to new market conditions.
So is this a classic David versus Goliath situation? Is DeepSeek a real threat to Microsoft's AI dominance?
Nadella framed it more as a win for customers in the long run.
Okay.
He was saying, and I quote, that the big beneficiaries of any software cycle like that is the customers.
Okay.
But let's unpack what this means for Microsoft and the bigger AI landscape.
Okay. All right. So DeepSeek is shaking things up a bit.
Yeah.
But is that really a good thing for Microsoft?
It's certainly a challenge,
Okay.
but it also points to a larger trend, I think.
What's that?
DeepSeek's success.
Yeah.
It suggests that agility and efficient use of resources
Okay.
can be just as effective as throwing billions of dollars at a problem.
Interesting.
It's a reminder that innovation can come from unexpected places.
So it's not just about brute force computing power anymore.
It seems not.
There's room for clever solutions,
Right.
different approaches to AI development.
Exactly.
But if DeepSeek can pull this off with limited resources,
Yeah.
what happens when those tech giants,
Right.
with their deep pockets,
Yeah.
start adopting similar strategies?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it leads to some really exciting possibilities.
Like what?
We could see a dramatic leap forward in AI capabilities across all devices and platforms.
Wow.
Imagine a world where cutting-edge AI
Yeah.
isn't just the domain of massive corporations,
Okay.
but is accessible to researchers,
Mm-hmm.
startups,
Yeah.
even individual developers.
That would really change the game.
It would.
It's like democratizing AI development,
Mhm.
making it accessible to a wider range of people and
Yeah,
organizations.
exactly.
That could lead to some really incredible innovations we haven't even thought of yet.
Absolutely. But of course,
Yeah.
this rapid evolution,
Uh-huh.
it also raises questions about the potential consequences.
Right, like the concerns about job displacement
For
as
sure.
AI becomes more sophisticated.
Mhm.
And what about the potential for AI to be misused
Oh,
or
absolutely.
even weaponized?
Yeah, these are things we need to think about carefully.
For sure.
As AI becomes more powerful and pervasive,
Yeah.
we need to be mindful of these potential downsides,
Right.
robust regulations,
Okay.
ethical guidelines,
Mm-hmm.
open discussions about responsible AI development.
Yeah.
These are going to be more important than ever.
It's almost like we're navigating uncharted territory.
It is.
We're developing this incredibly powerful technology
Right.
while simultaneously trying to understand its full implications. A bit of a tightrope walk?
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And that's why it's crucial to have these conversations now.
Okay.
We need to anticipate potential challenges
Mm-hmm.
and work collectively to ensure that AI benefits humanity as a whole.
So where do we go from here?
Well,
What role do we play in shaping the future of AI?
that's the key question.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
We need to stay informed,
Okay.
understand the technology,
Mm-hmm.
its potential, and its limitations.
Okay.
Engage in discussions,
Yeah.
ask questions,
Uh-huh.
and demand transparency from the companies developing AI.
So it's not about being passive observers.
No,
We can be active participants in shaping the direction of AI development.
exactly.
That's a pretty empowering thought.
It is by understanding the challenges and opportunities presented by AI,
Okay.
we can make more informed decisions
Mm-hmm.
and contribute to a future where AI is a force for good.
All right. I think we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
Let's take a moment to recap what we've learned
Okay.
about Microsoft's AI journey
hmm
and what it means for the future of AI as a whole.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we looked at Microsoft and what they're dealing with in this AI boom. It's a bit more complex than just build it and they will come, right?
Definitely highlights the reality behind the hype.
Yeah.
Remember, Microsoft stood out in that Motley Fool research for how much they've talked about risks compared to other big tech companies.
Right. It wasn't just about all the cool things AI can do. So to recap, what were those key challenges they're facing?
Well, the first one was just the sheer scale of the infrastructure needed. Think massive data centers. Securing enough power, it's a logistical and financial hurdle most companies wouldn't even be able to consider.
And even for Microsoft, it's not easy. We saw how they're struggling to keep up to demand. Even with all their resources, Amy Hood, their CFO, has been pretty vocal about that in their earnings calls.
Exactly. And then there's the wildcard DeepSeek. This Chinese company is proving that you don't necessarily need massive resources to be competitive in AI. That's got to be keeping Microsoft on its toes.
It makes you wonder if that changes the game somehow. So if even a giant like Microsoft is dealing with these challenges, what does that mean for everyone else?
I think it tells us a few things. First, the AI revolution is happening, no doubt about it. But like any major technological shift, it's going to be messy. There will be winners and losers, and the landscape will change rapidly.
It also seems like the playing field might not be as level as we thought. DeepSeek's success suggests that smaller, more agile companies might have an edge in some areas.
That's a fascinating possibility. It could lead to a more diverse and competitive AI landscape, with innovation coming from all directions. But it also means companies, big or small, need to be adaptable and willing to change their approach as the technology evolves.
It sounds like we're all, in a way, figuring this out as we go. There's no roadmap for an AI revolution, right?
Exactly. And that's why it's so crucial to stay informed and engaged, understand the potential of AI, but also be aware of the risks and challenges. This isn't just a spectator sport. We all have a role to play in shaping how this technology impacts our world.
So for our listeners out there, what would you say is the key takeaway from all of this?
If I had to sum it up, I'd say this. The AI revolution is full of possibilities, but it's not going to be a snooze ride. Stay curious, keep learning, and be ready to adapt. The future of AI is being written right now, and we all have a part in that story.
Well said. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring.